to be the man. You've got to beat the man.
Love y'all, boys. Love you. I go to war with every single one of you every f***ing game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Mikey. That is Tommy, and we got a special guest.
Aramis joining us from Do Champions Podcast. If you don't know, now you know. If you want to get to his YouTube channel, the link is in the description. First, let's start with you, Aramis, man. Tell us about yourself and how you became a Bills fan, and then tell us a little bit about Do Champions Podcast, man.
Okay, sure, yeah. I actually made the boneheaded decision to become a fan of the Bills in 2003 when they changed the jerseys and they were freshly into the drought. That's when I decided, you know what's a good idea? I'm gonna root for a losing team. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Losers, baby.
Yeah, that's right. No, weirdly enough, my mom and my aunts and my uncles and everything, they used to walk around with the Bill sweatshirts. I had no idea what any of that was about back then. I was probably about, I don't know, 8, 9 years old when that was happening. So, but nevertheless, throughout the years, my love for the team has grown in an incredible way, where I take very seriously how people criticize them. But I also rip them to shreds whenever they do something silly too. So, you know what I mean? It's like having a brother, you know, like only I can talk, stuff about my brother, but you can't, So, yeah, so that's my journey as a Bills fan. I've always been the type of fan that kind of looks around at the national landscape and says, the teams that are winning, what are they doing? Why aren't we doing that? Or what is it that we can copy from them to bring that type of success here? So that was kind of the inspiration for the podcast, is trying to bring a little bit more accountability to the landscape of Bills fandom, because I think sometimes we can get a little too caught up in the rose-colored glasses and forget we've been in the divisional round 3 years in a row. We haven't seen an AFC championship in 6 years, so it's time to put up or shut up.
No, I'm with you on that.
Yep.
One thing you'll find here with Tommy and I is we're realists. I love my team and I'll support my team, but I'm also going to bash my team if they need to be bashed. One thing you'll find is Tommy and I have issues with Sean McDermott. He's a fantastic head coach. He's a great regular season head coach. The dude butthole puckers in crunch time.
For sure.
We would call it how it is. I love the guy, and I hope I'm proven wrong, and I hope he gets us over the hump. My biggest concern is he's, the Bengals head coach who can never get us over the hump. He's Andy Reid in Philly, can never get over the hump. He's Marty Schottenheimer who can never get over the hump. I don't want to waste Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But
that's me and Mikey's thing.
But also, there's no guarantee whoever we bring in is going to be able to get us over that hump either. So
see, that's the frustrating part for me. I hear that a lot, and not that it's not a logical train of thought, but it's almost a crutch for those people who don't want to venture far enough in the hope field. You know what I mean? The idea of we don't know what's on the other side of the fence, so we'll just stay where it's safe and we know what we have. listen, people have tried to do that in all of these, post-apocalyptic movies, and they always die. It never, you know what I'm saying? It's never worked out for them. It's always the people that strive for better, try to do more, that end up being. Look at what Philly has done. I mean, if you were to tell Philly that they would go to 4 straight NFC Championship games with Andy Reid, and guess what? Time to get rid of him because we can do better. And then you do better. You win a Super Bowl 2 years after he's gone, or was it 2 years? I don't know. It was somewhere within 5 years after he left. You win a Super Bowl. At the time, I'm sure there were a lot of people that were saying, "No, Andy Reid's a great coach. He's gotten us to 4 NFC Championship games. Why would we get rid of that?" Well, you see why. Because there's always that possibility if you're going to have something better. So why not hope for better?
I also look.
Thank you very much. Finally, somebody's got a brain in here. I thought I was alone. I mean, my God, huh?
Yeah, I also looked at it as the Golden State Warriors with Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
He was a fantastic head coach, got them to the playoffs. They realized they weren't going to get over the hump.
Yep.
They brought in Steve Kerr and it turned into a dynasty.
Flip Saunders. I mean, there's a lot of coaches that are. Listen, man. Me and Mikey totally agree. Like me and Mikey, we don't always agree, right? But we definitely agree on Coach McDermott. Man, look, he's a good regular season coach. He's a good coach if you're starting up a team, like rebuild, culture builder. Yeah, like I'm cool with that. But what I'm not cool with is we're year 8 in, and we only been to 1 AFC championship. And how long is long enough? And I keep telling people this, man. You can't be. It's like going to the same restaurant over and over, getting the same burger over and over and over. Yeah, it's okay, but are you scared to go somewhere else? Like, you can't live like that. You got to eventually make that change and roll the dice on a new coach, man. And look, man, his problems continue to be the same ones, right? He gets out coached in big moments. He makes really poor decisions in games that are really, really close. And it's over and over and over. And it's like, how long is long enough? And I always tell people this. Okay, so how long are you willing to wait? 10 years, 11, 12, 13, 14. When does it stop? Because y'all scared. You know who's scared too? The Bagulas. Because the Bagulas don't want to go down that alley again where, God forbid, if they do get a coach and he's bad, then all Bills Mafia is going to freak out. But I trust our GM to find us a good coach if that ever happens. Look, man, I'm willing to eat crow, and I keep telling you all this. If Sean McDermott wins the Super Bowl before he gets fired, I'm willing to eat crow. I'll do a video saying, I'm the biggest idiot of all time, bro. But right now, he is the reason why I believe, or a big reason why, the Bills haven't at least reached the Super Bowl. He's made some big mistakes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
The big thing, I want 30 by halftime.
Yeah, if not, we got a problem. Yeah, but no, I've told people, listen, if the Bills win the Super Bowl, even this year, I'll shave my beard. I'll come on. I'll look like a naked mole rat for the entire show. So I'm prepared to do it. I'll be happy if we do it. You know, again, and
that's right. Y'all remember this. By the way, this is on YouTube. This ain't going nowhere.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
Trust me, my co-host will hold me to this, so don't worry about that.
And Spin will come over and hold you to it too.
Oh yeah, here's Spin.
That's fine. Listen, I will gladly hand everybody a pair of clippers to share as you all 5 of y'all, 4 of y'all, just shave my face all at once on the show. Right? I'm cool with it.
I would happily exchange my beard for a Super Bowl win.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Happily.
Yep. So, one of the things I wanted to, and I kind of feel terrible for saying it this way, but it's Do Champions Media is the network that we're on.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The podcast is the Post Podium podcast.
All right. All right.
Yeah. So, to kind of just talk about the podcast a little bit, really quick. The show started with me and my best friend Keyshawn, and then once we got the show up and going, I caught up with another one of my best friends from back in the day. We kind of caught up and had seen each other in a while, and we always texted and talked football, and I'm like, well, why don't we just do this and try to get paid for doing it? You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's where the show kind of spawned from. It was us just talking and constantly going back and forth about the team, but honestly, the name of the game, one of the reasons why I think the show itself is kind of more niche than anything else is because we almost never like just straight out praise the team. You know what I mean? It's we look at it from a coach's perspective, and I think this is probably the best defense that we have against everybody that says, we're sour and, whatever. It's like, no, if a coach wins a game, what's the first thing we hear Sean McDermott saying? Hey, we did a great job today, but we got stuff we got to work on. That's it. Simple as that. No more, no less. But let me ask you guys this. So looking at, because we were talking about this earlier, if you look at the schedule, Who's the team that kind of scares you the most going down the stretch? Because right now the Bills look unbeatable after this game. But who are you worried about playing?
I got to look at the schedule real quick. Let me see here. So
there's two.
Go ahead, Mikey, if you're up there first.
One, always the Chiefs. For whatever reason, it's a bugaboo. We can get them in the regular season, but that defense is carrying that team right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the offense. I'm worried about that defense. And this is a copycat league. If Spags finds something, the good thing is we will have 6 weeks to fix whatever Spags finds. So I would say them, and then I would say the Lions.
Yep.
Those are the two. Those are the two that I think will be our toughest down the stretch. I mean, I like the 49ers, but the 49ers have a lot of problems.
Yeah, they do.
And they have holes.
I think a lot of it starts with Brock Purdy too. He's not.
It starts with Kyle Shanahan.
Well,
let's call a spade a spade. I live in Northern California.
Okay.
A lot of it comes from Shanahan. Shanahan's inability to stick with his game plan and continue to go with what's working. He is a throw happy monster.
Yeah.
Even though his dad comes from a running, Shanahan will run until he feels like, okay, I have a big enough lead, and they'll start throwing the ball, and then you'll watch the teams come back, and he just will never get back to the run.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. He's stuck in his ways. But I'm with Mikey, man. I think I'm in here. I live in Detroit, Aramis. So I
actually to answer Beth's question, I am in Buffalo. Yeah. I've been here for
so Beth,
a long time.
maybe you do. Beth, I believe is a teacher. So maybe you did. So
what school was it?
Let them know what school. But I'm with y'all. I think Detroit and Kansas City, man. But I would say Detroit might be even tougher because you're on the road. But in hindsight too, you're in a dome where Josh Allen, is going to flourish in really good environment. So, but toughest games on the schedule, I would say those two for sure.
Oh I did go to Performing Arts. Okay.
Oh man, look at this! Look at this! Small world.
It's like an episode of Lowered Expectations. What show was that? Mad TV.
Oh my goodness! Hey Beth, their YouTube link is in the description, so go ahead and subscribe to their channel, man, so you can see more Aramis and get to chatting with your old friend. Maybe you guys have something, you guys talk back in the day, I don't know, in school with friends. So that's pretty cool, man.
It seems like the chat feels kind of the same way where it's KC and Detroit. Do you have a sneaky team that
I'm worried about playing? Yeah. I know we have to play the Colts, and their offensive line is still good. They do make me a little bit nervous because now they have Flacco. So, it's going to be tough to see them as a one-dimensional team now, because now they can pass the ball. So I think that might be another tough matchup that I worry about, just because they ran it down our throats the last time they were here.
True.
You're talking about the playoff game?
No, I'm talking about the regular season game when they stomped us.
And Brian Daboll decided to throw the ball in the rain for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Hey, well that's what our coordinators love to do. They go against the grain. If it's pouring down rain, raining and shitty weather, let's pass it 65 times. I remember Philadelphia came here. And Brian Daboll did the same thing, boy. Did the same thing. We got beat on our own turf, man. So but I will say this: the difference between when they were OCing is the offensive line, though. The offensive line has gotten a lot better, through the years at least, and it's probably our best offensive line in the last 2 seasons. So that is helping our home field advantage. Because I you know what, like I never felt like we really truly had home field advantage with that offensive line we had. It just wasn't built for Buffalo, and that's why we didn't run the ball a lot. Like, so a lot of teams would come in and were more physical and kind of just bully us around. I think now with our offensive line getting a little bit bigger, Osiris Torrance, Spencer Brown, Deion Dawkins, the same line, you're starting to see a more physical team, at least often up front, which is helping.
Yeah.
You can see it in the run game. I mean,
going back to the Colts, I think the difference with the Colts is their defense. Their defense isn't as good as it was when they came here last time. You know, Shaq Leonard was playing at the All-Pro level at that time. DeForest Buckner was an All-Pro, coming off an All-Pro season at that time. Like, that defense is a shell of what it used to be. Now, they still have the run game. Flacco's still an old man Flacco. I feel real confident against their receivers, though. I think Benford and Douglas will be able to shut those guys down. So as long as we don't get gashed in the run game, I really aren't concerned about that much.
Pittman is also taking a step back, in my opinion. I don't know if that's because of the quarterback.
I think that's more quarterback play.
It could be exactly. I get that, and it's tough when you have a quarterback coming in and out. Flacco, Rich, I get that, but he's still, regardless, he has taken a step back. And look, man, Flacco. The difference between Richardson and Flacco's super mobile. I mean, not super mobile. He's immobile, right? He's super pocket pass. That's it. He's a pocket passer. So if you get to him, you're gonna create a havoc for him. So like, that's one thing Richardson can do. Get outside of the pocket. So I'm not really concerned about the Colts, man. I think we get after him. He'll make mistakes. But if you don't, he'll pick you apart.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell by now. I'm pretty much scared of any team that can run the ball. I mean,
I was until I saw what we did to Seattle. Because Seattle was a good run team.
But see, I got to stop you there.
No, go ahead.
Seattle's offensive line is horrible. They are 22nd in the league in terms of their offensive line ranking.
Okay, and what is Indy?
I can tell you right now. Let's see here.
Because I don't think Indy's super high. I'm guessing.
No, they wouldn't be, but
top 15. Probably somewhere between 10 and 15.
Any offensive line that has Quentin Nelson on it is still better than the Seahawks offensive line.
Quentin Nelson do you get? Do you get all pro Quentin Nelson, or do you get the last 2 years of Quentin Nelson?
Well, he's been hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt. Yeah. Let me see here.
Yeah, that's true.
You know. And what Jonathan Taylor do you get? Do you get the all-pro Jonathan Taylor, or do you get the banged-up Jonathan Taylor?
Let's see. This year, the offensive line is rated as the 3rd best in the NFL.
Oh, there you go, Mikey. Probably PFF, I'm guessing, right?
Well, yeah. So it's PFF is 3rd best. Their pass blocking is rated as 7th in the NFL. Run blocking is 8th. So
not bad. That's not too bad.
Right.
But I would say this though, like I don't know how physical they are up front, but we haven't. Our run defense is in the middle. I would say we're not. We still are trying to get that sorted out. But
we're significantly better than we were last year.
We are better. We definitely.
Unless you play
unless we that's exactly where I was going.
Touches him, we go in the wrong hole.
Unless you're playing Derrick Henry in a more physical up front offensive line, I think our defensive line holds up against most. To be honest with you, I don't see that being a problem. And also too, it depends how the game flow is going. If the Buffalo Bills get up quick on them, they're going to probably go more pass heavy. You know how that goes. So I'm not super concerned about their run game, to be honest with you. Now, like I said, if it was the Ravens, totally different story.
I'm gonna need Roy to sit down somewhere. I'm gonna need Roy to sit down somewhere.
you know, Roy. Yeah, he's a little smart ass.
Yeah, he is.
Roy is a smart ass. He's 100% a smart ass.
No, I love him though.
I got something for him, man. Oh,
all right, so Tommy, you wanted to go around the league?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Let's get it. Let's get to, you want to start with It's Very Nice, man?
The nice one? Sure.
Yeah, start with the nice
We'll start with Lamar Jackson, who didn't practice all week, but it looks like he's going to play.
Ooh.
Wow, it's very nice.
Nice, okay.
Quarterback Jordan Love. He didn't practice all week. He's listed as questionable, but he says he's gonna play.
Oh, wow. All right.
He's like, who needs practice? I got this.
Well, I mean, he's been watching DK Metcalf do it for half a season.
Right.
Let me see.
Mikey usually has bad downer news, so this is a rare thing.
Downer news. Tracy Jr. good to go for the Giants, so his concussion's not going to keep him out more than that one game.
Nice, I'm starting him.
Yes. Okay, so now we're going to jump over to the bad news.
Oh, the downers. Here we go. Mikey loves his downers.
Start with Jerry Jones. What is going on in that world? Jerry Jones says, 3-4 start, rougher than I anticipated. The dude did nothing in the offseason. He did nothing in the offseason, and you anticipated? Really?
What's funny about that is the brand is still number one in the world, even with all these deficiencies and everything that he's brought to the fans' doorstep. It's insane.
You know who he's becoming?
Who's
Al
that?
Davis.
Al Davis?
He's becoming Al Davis. Al Davis was a sharp football mind until he got older, and then his ego could not take a back seat.
The only difference that I see with that is Al Davis's shtick, if you will, was he was the opponent to all of the other NFL owners. Jerry Jones runs the show right now. He's the guy. You know what I mean? As far as all the owners, like nobody makes a move without him putting a stamp on it, so to speak.
I meant from a football perspective.
Oh yeah,
how he goes about building his team and getting out in the media. He's becoming Al Davis. I think it's something to do with the older you get, just, your brain can't keep up with it, man. Like, and the sad part is his son, Stephen Jones, super smart dude.
Yeah,
you just listen to him.
I'm just trying not to disrespect Al Davis in that way. I think Al Davis.
I love Al, but everybody knew down the stretch, like if Al just fell in love with speed.
Yeah, right.
If you ran fast, he was drafting you.
Yeah,
because he was trying to be ahead of the times, and he knew football was going to become all about speed. So he's always trying to draft that. Through the years. I mean, Al's a pioneer of this league, man.
Yeah.
But when you get older like that, those things happen, and that's who Jerry Jones is starting to sound like. Man, he got on a radio show and threatened to fire the two hosts if they didn't stop asking him the questions.
Yep.
Whoa. Like, really? What's really going on in Dallas?
I wish that was me, because I went back and I actually watched that episode because I wanted to see what the radio guys said. They were very nice, and part of it might have been because they really did fear for their job, but that's incredible. The funny part about that is we've seen in the Tyler Dunn report, like reporters being worried about being blackballed, away from not having access to the team. So it happens, man. It happens.
You don't get on the bad side of the owner,
right?
And especially that owner, who wields so much power.
And he'll do it too, right? You would.
He's that guy.
Absolutely.
We'll get to the Seahawks. Metcalf and Titan Fant both ruled out already.
Yeah. Oh man.
T. Higgins and Zach Moss both doubtful for the Bengals.
Again?
Higgins is having a rough season going in his contract year. Just can't stay healthy.
Wow.
And Joe Burrow's struggling without having that second Avenger.
Yeah. Is Chase the number one receiver in fantasy right now?
He leads the league in yards. I'm not sure about the touchdowns and all that. So
it also depends on what type you're playing. Are you playing PPR?
It's always PPR. Yeah.
So I think it really depends on those.
I'm just talking fantasy to get on Roy's nerves.
Oh, yeah. And I'm always game if we're going to be doing that. Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay.
As we go through here, because I want to say no, but I could be. I run a fantasy podcast on Saturdays.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. Jamar by 2 points over Garrett.
Wow.
And Godwin. Godwin's still third, and he's been gone for over a week.
He's gone for the rest of the season, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's still third overall.
Yeah.
And he was gone. He's been gone for a game already. Like he was leading the pack by a wide margin until he got hurt.
Wow.
And quietly, Justin Jefferson's in fourth.
Dang.
Very quietly. You know what? That offense is about to explode because Jordan Addison, for some reason, he wasn't able to take off. But with Hawkinson coming back, that offense is going to explode.
Roy.
That's what she said.
Yes, Tommy. Yes.
Yeah.
My last one I got, Tommy, is the Saints going back Latimer and McKinstry are both out.
Oh man.
That's
Mikey.
Where is CD? CD is actually number 5.
I thought yeah.
And crazy
Wow,
part
okay.
is everyone's talking about Malik Neighbors. It's Brian Thomas Jr. who's the top rookie, and he's at number 7.
Wow.
Yep.
Wait, what did Roy say? Laura's been what? Oh, yeah, good. She needs to. Yeah, we've been pushing real hard to get Roy in the fan. You know what? I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Roy, but I think Roy, the last time he played fantasy is when it was in the newspapers.
Right, mail them in.
Yeah, the 20-hour fantasy draft.
Yeah, that's hilarious. You know, the first year I did fantasy when I first got back from the military, it was like we're in year 21 now. I got, like, it was before Yahoo was a thing, so I Excel spreadsheet, went online and found the stats, and every Tuesday I went and put it all together for the league as the commissioner.
That's
wild.
dedication, man.
Yep, I did that for 2 years
great.
before Yahoo came on and brought the fantasy app, and then from there we just ran with it. But yeah, we're in year 21 of my fantasy group.
Wow.
I downloaded all. I drafted all Bills players. My very first. I had no idea what it was.
I drafted through Morse code.
And everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And mind you, this was back in the drought years. So like,
Oh, it was a drought year too?
yeah. Like, so it wasn't very good.
Is that the JP year when you did all
I
that?
had no idea what I don't even remember. It was just all like everyone was like,
Or was
"Oh my
the
god,
Bledsoe
this
mold
guy definitely
year?
doesn't know what he's
That
doing."
The year you wanted them.
Yeah.
The Bledsoe Molds year is the year you wanted them.
Oh, dude, Mold's my dude, bro. Now Molds can play with any quarterback.
He was, yeah.
That's the man right there.
He was not quarterback dependent. That's for damn
No,
sure.
nope.
Surprisingly, even with Moles, my favorite Bill of all time, still Stevie Johnson. Still to this day.
Ah, Stevie's the man. He came on the channel a couple times.
Oh,
really
yeah?
good dude. Yeah, really good dude. Yeah, man. I'll hit him up, man. If y'all ever want to have him on your show, man.
Please,
Yeah, I
that would be
I
great.
Yeah, I got
He
you.
does.
I
He
got
does some with Big J or Big Cuz. Jay and Big Cuz, right?
you. Yeah, Jay and Big. Yeah, he just 2 weeks ago he was on. But I'll hit him up. I got his phone number, so I got you, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, the moment for me was the Why So Serious, where he lifted the shirt up and they was playing the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I had him on as a guest. This is like a year ago, and I had to ask him. I'm like, yo. So not even that one. I'm like, did Plaxico Burress? Did you ever talk to him after that celebration you did? You remember that one or no? Y'all remember that one?
The
Plaxico one.
Burress-
So Plaxico was in a club
And he shot himself.
and in the leg. And then we played the Jets. I think.
That's right. That's
and
right.
Scored a touchdown.
Oh.
And did he do the celebration shoot himself?
He was dancing, and he goes, "Oh," and he like pretending. And I'm like, "Yo,
Yes.
I'm like, yo, Stevie, I gotta ask you, did you ever talk to him after?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we good, we're cool, man." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, he's like, "Oh no, he thought it was funny." I'm like, "All right."
I would pay money to hear that conversation, man. That had to be great.
Dude. Oh, bro, I brung it all up, man. Like I had it. I'm like, if I'm gonna have this dude on, I'm not gonna just ask him every question he's ever heard of. You know what I mean? That he's got. I'm gonna try to be a little different. So yeah, he was a great guest, man. So definitely good person to have on, man.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
cool.
so let's jump into the Miami piece. You know, I
Yeah,
want
let's do it.
to get your take. You know, what are your concerns going into this week with Miami coming into Buffalo? Do you have any?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think one of the things that Miami likes to do is to get the defense to make their first step the wrong step, and that's why they do a lot of the motion and all that. It's to kind of play the Bills' strength against itself, which is their eyes. They're an eyes first defense, right? For me, I think my worry is what they did to the Bills last year, which is attacking the B gaps of their offensive line, right? Running A-chain either up the gut or right to that inside edge of their offensive line and gaining, 10 to 12 yards like they were last season. If they can get back to that, we might have a problem, because now that unlocks play action, that unlocks their ability to go downfield. With our safeties, I like that they've been, disciplined, but to play that kind of speed, it in the NFL, where it's already faster than anything you've seen as a football player, to have that kind of elite speed on the field with you, I'm sorry, that eliminates all discipline, because this person is coming at you faster than you can even think, and you've got to react. And if you're not already an elite player like a Poyer or a Hyde was that can handle that, I'm sorry, the safety play worries me at that point, because that the linebackers are going to get swallowed up. That's just the design of our defense playing nickel. They're going to get swallowed up. So the help comes from the safeties, which is part of the reason why I think our run defense has been better. But listen, if the Dolphins can get the run game going like that, then we have a problem.
And my concern is actually the opposite. My concern is the outside, because we got gashed so bad that way in the first game this year. We actually stacked in the middle, and they started running on the outside.
They kind of did that in the second half of that game too. They started stacking,
and then they stopped. Yeah, and then they stopped. They just stopped doing it for whatever. I mean, they were driving down the field, just the quick dump outs to the flats. The handoffs, the motions, and then they just stopped doing it. Honestly, that's my biggest concern, especially with Bernard coming back from an ankle injury. He's going to be a step slower. Yep. As much as I like Dorian is always a first step wrong type of guy. Yeah. He sees and he attacks. And if he sees wrong, he's always a step behind. Having Taron back is huge, because he makes up for a lot of it. I love Rapp. My also concern is Hamill, as he tends to take the wrong gap a lot. And you always see McDermott on the sideline telling him, get outside. And he's always on the inside, and then it leaves that open down the sideline, which is a concern.
Yeah, he's gotten a little bit better with his run angles and taking the right Hamlin. I mean, but let me ask you this: would you consider holding Bernard out this game, knowing that the ankle is going to hold him a little bit?
No, I still think a 80% Bernard's better than 100% Spectre.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with that too, man. And it's a division game. You definitely want this game at home. You want to beat a division foe. They are they're a desperate team, right? They're gonna be playing. They're gonna give us everything they got, right, to try to stay ahead of the Jets, because right now the Jets obviously won on Thursday night, but they kind of did us a favor, so I wasn't too mad. It was a win-win either way. If they won or lost, it doesn't matter. We come out the winner in that one, so in my opinion. So, but yeah, they want to gain. They don't want to get behind the Jets and wind up being in last. So they're going to give us everything they got for sure. But Mike is right. In that first game, it was weird. They were gashing us on the outside. Absolutely killing us. They drove down the field, no problems, and then they just went away from it. I even text Mikey during the game, like, why did they stop going to the outside? They were killing us on the outside runs, and they just totally went away from it. And I'm like, thank you.
Stopped at one time, and then
I'm like, cool, man, thanks, bro. So,
well, Mike, I think you said it's that Shanahan curse, man.
I mean, McDaniel did come from that, so maybe okay, they stopped it, now it's time to do something else.
And we talk about our coach a lot, McDermott, but I will say this though. McDermott is a far better head coach than McDaniel. McDaniel has not proven himself as a good head coach. He has 2 wins against teams 500 or better. So he's 2-14 over against teams that are 5. So he struggles against better teams. I do believe McDermott has the edge on that. Believe it or not.
Do you think he might be better with a better quarterback though?
No, I don't. I don't
Really?
think Tua's that bad. No, I think Tua's actually a good quarterback. I think he makes mistakes. I don't think he's great, but I think if healthy, he can produce. There's a ton of quarterbacks out there with good coaches that are a winning team, right? I'm just saying, and Tua is probably a better quarterback than some of these teams. I think he is. I think he's accurate. I think he has a decent arm. You know what I mean? They built that team. McDaniel built that offense to fit Tua's style, and he produced, like, his numbers don't lie, right? I'm just saying
his numbers don't lie against bad teams. Against good teams, they tell you what he is.
I agree. In big moments, big games, he has struggled, but he has also put up some decent numbers too. He hasn't totally shit the bed. I don't think he's bad at all. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. The problem I've always had with Tua is absolutely when healthy. I do believe that. But here's the problem. He's not healthy. He can't stay healthy. He can't stay on the field. And that's a major, major issue when it comes to Tua. So, look, man, I'm just saying top 10 in regular season, absolutely. His numbers don't lie. When healthy, last year, look at his numbers. He was a really good quarterback.
Are you saying top 10 just because of numbers? Because numbers
I'm saying, well, yes, in certain categories, like interceptions, I think they lie. But I think yards, they don't lie. I think completion percentage, they don't lie. No. Tua put up. Hill put up yards of catch, but
listen, the Bills were smashing Miami. Josh Allen sat down in the third quarter. They left Tua in to rack up yards.
But we also own Tua. We own the Miami Dolphins.
Wait, but why do we own Tua?
Hey, I want to know why? I think because our head coach, believe it or not, even though I'm not a big fan of him, I think he out coaches their coach McDaniel. I do. I don't think it's all on Tua. I think it's scheme. I think their scheme is broken. I think a lot of teams now have figured out what they do and how to beat the Miami Dolphins, which is play super physical at the line. They're a timing based offense.
Yep.
So if you jam them up early and you put pressure on Tua,
the scheme.
Right, you can't exactly. So I get that, but that's also his scheme. That's McDaniel's scheme. You don't know how to play in somebody else's scheme.
We've seen Tua play with a different scheme for a couple of years.
It was bad.
For what's his name? What's his name? The old coach.
Yeah, the coach from the Patriots.
I'm just going by what I see. I don't think he's that. I really don't. I think he's a pretty decent quarterback. You can win with him, but I just don't think he's a quarterback that you can rely on for his health. Like, you know what I mean? So
let me ask you this: Who would you guys say during the drought period are the two best head coaches that the Bills have had aside from Sean McDermott?
My God, that's a great question.
Gailey.
Okay, Gailey. You want to know Gailey's record with the Bills? He was 16. He was 16-32.
Not very good.
He was still one of the He's still one of the better ones that we had. I mean,
there were two head coaches that actually have a better record than that.
I want to say Doug Marrone.
Doug Marrone was one.
Doug Marrone, yes, Doug Marrone. You're right. Was it Dick Geron? Was it Dick Geron? I was gonna say the tight end guy, the guy that used to play tight end. Who was that? No.
Nope.
Greg Williams. Could it be Greg Williams?
Nope.
Who was the other one?
The other one is Rex Ryan. Both of those coaches are 15 and 17, right? Would you guys say that those guys had a franchise level quarterback?
Oh no.
No. Okay. Quarterback. Do you guys know what Sean McDermott's record without Josh Allen is in his first 2 seasons?
Well, he only had the one 2017 without Josh.
I'm sorry.
Josh got hurt in his rookie year and missed 3 games.
Yeah, but it wasn't many
I think
games.
he has a winning record.
No, he's 15 and 17.
He's 15 and 17? Okay.
He's 15 and 17. And the 3 games that Josh missed in 2018, they lost all of those games. They got blown out in 2 of them.
Yeah, that was a bad roster.
Yeah. Well, no. Listen, if you're going by that, absolutely.
I'm simply saying the quarterback makes a big difference. You know what I mean? I think.
Listen, there's no doubt. Listen, there is no doubt about it. If you want to talk drought years, and you really want to dial it back, go back to 2002 when we had Drew Bledsoe, who had his last year, What all you had left in
Shot
the
his load.
the quarter tank, Drew Bledsoe that we just had enough. That offense was spectacular, man.
yeah.
Go look at that. But we had a defensive coordinator, Greg Williams, who couldn't get a defense together. And we wound up being, 8-8 that year or something like that. And we missed the playoffs. So, and by the way, the Jets made the playoffs with 9 wins. So we missed it by like 1 game. So, yeah, quarterbacks make a world of difference, especially on the offense. But you also got to have a complete team. You got to have a defense, got to have offense, you got to have coaches in place.
My concern about Tua, Tommy, is he can't play above scheme.
Nah.
So if you bump him and it's why the Bills have beat him.
I get it.
It's because they take away his first read and he can't play above the scheme. He doesn't have that ability.
Yeah. It's his when the play breaks down. What is it called? The second chance or second? It's anything outside of the play that's called.
He's definitely made mistakes, but if I'm going to say top 10, he's 10. You know what I mean? Like I have to go through my list of quarterbacks. But
is he better than Geno?
No.
Yes.
Whoa.
Is he better than Baker?
Wow.
Yes.
He's better.
I don't think Baker's that good.
He's better than Stroud?
No, hell no. CJ Stroud is really good.
Is he better than Rodgers?
No.
Okay. Is he better than Cousins?
But this year, possibly, because Rodgers is not having the greatest year. But go ahead.
Neither is Tua.
No, I'm just saying. But Tua also only played 2 games. Well, 2.5.
Hey,
go ahead.
2.5 games, he's looked like crap.
No, I get it. But go ahead.
Okay.
Who else?
Cousins?
No, I think Cousins probably better.
Okay. Purdy?
I don't like Purdy. So I honestly, I think Purdy has more. Purdy's more on system base and weapons base.
Okay.
So I'm going to go. I will say no.
Okay. Lamar Jackson?
Fuck yeah. What are you? That's not even. That's not.
Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow is better than him.
Dak?
Yes. Got to give it to Dak. Even though I'm not a fan of Dak, but Dak.
Trevor Lawrence?
Is good. No.
Josh?
Fuck no. All right, where we at?
Jaden Daniels?
I'm going to say no right now.
Okay. Goff?
No. Oh, God, no.
Stafford?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's 10, and we haven't even hit Mahomes.
Damn. All right, so I guess I'm wrong, folks. 15.
I just want you to know when you say top 10.
Damn.
Jeez. You want to say top 15? I'll give you top 15. He is not top 10.
No.
No.
All
right. That's pretty much what this was.
Let's just run through it. I mean,
Damn you, Mikey.
Listen, I just wanted to put it out there.
All right.
And if you would have said yes and he was top 10, I would have ate it.
Yeah, I guess I got ahead of myself. Sorry, Tua fans.
You did say I would have to go back and look, so I
don't think he's a. Oh, we did do a quarterback tier, didn't we, in the start of the season? I don't remember where I had him, but we did do a
third tier. So there
we
was
did
elite,
do an episode.
There was
Okay.
There was who you can. So it was elite, win because of, win with. You're not going to base it.
I just don't think he's as bad as what some people say is all. I don't. I think he has good qualities as a quarterback.
He's a middle of the pack quarterback that you can win with if everything goes right.
So you're saying he's around the Tannehill of the world, right? Is that where we're going with this?
No, I think he's better than Tannehill. I do think he's better.
Yeah, but Tannehill I always consider middle of the pack when in his prime. Tannehill's
you're
prime.
saying prime Tannehill? Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah. I would say he's a middle of the pack quarterback at that
prime
time.
Tannehill? Yeah, I'll give you
prime
that.
Tannehill, sure.
100%. Prime Derek Carr. The one season that he had his prime in.
Yeah.
He was really good that
Derek Carr wasn't terrible, though. Yeah, but I'm with you. All right, it is what it is.
Flacco. Joe Flacco couldn't play above this scheme. He just was, when he won the Super Bowl, he was given everything he needed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is true. That is very true.
McDaniel runs a Shanahan offense, which should be based off of the run. Yet he throws the ball because he has Waddle and Hill. And it becomes the issue. Wait, Tommy, did you just miss the being wrong? Someone called a Pope.
Just witnessed a miracle. Wow, dude.
So, it's just one of those things. So what's your keys here coming up for this week? What are you expecting from? We'll start with the keys on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, I mean, defensively, you just got to do what you did last time. I mean, the name of the game is stopping the pass. If you stop the pass, you force the team to run. That's essentially the weakness of the Dolphins, if you will. They don't like winning with the run game. They really don't. So you make them one-dimensional in that sense. You'll keep them ahead. You'll get ahead. You'll get so far ahead of them that they have to throw the ball, and then you got them.
Yeah, especially that offensive line, because that are not very good, and that's when you get your defensive line to start, getting pressure and making Tua make mistakes. Because that's really what changed the game last time. Is we got to Tua early, and he made some poor decisions, and he overthrew the ball.
Oh yeah,
three turnovers in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their tackles are probably, and I feel bad because I like Terran Armstead. Is he playing in this game?
I have no idea.
He's always banged up.
I know he's always hurt now. Yeah, he's been a great tackle for so long, but his issue has always been injuries. But
they made a huge mistake in not upgrading that offensive line.
Yeah,
that's one of their biggest downfalls. Yeah, that's one of their biggest downfalls of Greer and that whole build there. Not thinking that O-line matters. Like, are you fucking insane? Like, you can have an average quarterback look really good with a really good offensive line. Like,
yeah.
So that's just the truth. So and not only that, you got a quarterback back there who cannot take hits. Clearly cannot take hits. You should want to protect that dude big time. Yeah. I mean, look at Peyton Manning late in his career. Boy, they protected that motherfucker big time. Tom Brady, protection big time. Like, that's the key, man. And I don't think they're doing him any justice either by that. And that's why they're trying to do with Tua, he gets the ball out quicker than any other quarterback because of that, right? They don't want him holding the ball long, which is really helps out the defense.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let's look at their injury report real quick. Armstead was full practice on Friday.
Oh,
he's
look at
gonna
this.
Play. Julian Hill, Javon Holland didn't practice all week. He looks like he's going to be out. Cater Kohu looks like he's going to be out.
Jeez.
Zach Seiler.
And then he scrolled down.
Yeah. He's going to be out.
We got to zoom out for this one.
It's one of those things. Like,
all right, now on the page two.
We have two guys. Reggie Gilliam's already been ruled out. And then we have who was limited this week. I think limited was Cooper, Bernard, and there was one other that was limited. There's three of them. Oh, Curtis Samuel. So
Curtis Samuel. I don't get why they don't put that dude on. Bro, put that dude on IR already.
Let him heal up.
It was the biggest mistake by putting him out there week after week. I'm telling y'all, put the dude on IR because I think right now, like, a lot of Bills Mafia is like, oh, Curtis Samuel was this bad signing. Bro, that guy is legit. That guy can play football. He's what we want. He's Swiss Army knife. He can do a lot of little things really good. But if he's hurt, he ain't going to do those little things too good. Put that dude on IR. Let that dude heal up. At least the turf toe thing, I'm telling y'all, he never got that. That shit still bother him. Has to be. Put him on IR. Call somebody else up. I don't care if it's Hamler or the guy we had last week. And then we get a healthy Samuel down the stretch into the playoffs. But right now, man, I just don't like that they're using a guy that can't even really produce. So what's the point?
What do you guys think about the way that he's being used, though? Because I think that has a lot to do with the injuries, too.
Yes, 100%. I think it's more based on they understand that he's limited. So because it doesn't make sense because Brady was his OC in Carolina, and he had his best year under Brady. So Brady clearly knows how to use Curtis Samuel. So it doesn't make sense that now all of a sudden he's like, oh, geez, I don't know what to do with this guy. No, there's no way. I think it's just more like, hey, what can we do with you now the way you are as far as your health goes, I think. Now, of course, we're spreading the ball around more. Maybe that's going to limit him a little bit. But I still say there's a lot more that we could do. Like, you haven't really seen him line up in the backfield much, except for the one stupid fucking
outside much either.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of things in his game that we're just not, and it has to be because of the injury, what they feel comfortable with him.
You
I hope
that it's that.
because if
and
it's
then
not the case, then
Brady
oh,
just isn't using them correctly.
right.
So what do you guys think about this? Because this is, I sometimes I kind of drift off into thought, and one of the thoughts.
Good.
Thanks.
We do it all the time. We do it all the time, bro.
We go down rabbit here a lot.
All the time.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough. So,
all the
time. So one of the thoughts that I had when it came to receivers like Curtis Samuel, if you look at what we did with Roscoe Parrish, what we did with Marquise Goodwin, what we did with to me, it kind of seems like it's a Buffalo Bills culture issue more so than it is the small, speedy receiver issue. Because every single receiver that we've had come in here of that ilk has been used in a gadget way. Every single one. And you even look at how they were trying to use oh my gosh, what's the guy's name? McKenzie when he was here. Another guy who did a great job against man coverage when we had him in I think it was 2021 when he was getting a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, when he was eating the Patriots alive.
Yeah. So right, and what shocked me was they didn't think to do any more with that or to make any plays that kind of took advantage of what they had already put on tape with McKenzie. Maybe, run some zig routes or something like that, some whip routes to come, back to, because a lot of his stuff was run, deep crosses. A lot of the similar stuff that we see Shakir run now is what they were doing with McKenzie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But
which is really a Beasley staple.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yep. But it seems as though the city itself, or not the city itself, but the team itself has decided anybody less than 200 pounds is a gadget guy, and if they're fast, they're still a gadget guy. I don't care. Those guys are not outside receivers. But here we go watching Tank Dell and Zay Flowers and those type of guys play on the outside and catch balls, contested catches and stuff. Look what Tank Dell did. What was it, last night?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What we have a guy like that in the building, but instead we like to throw the ball to him behind the line of scrimmage. It makes no sense.
And I think it's an OC issue because since
100%.
like Dable used McKenzie, I loved the pop passes, those type of things, jet sweeps. I liked that. He also used them on crossers and some other things. McKenzie's issue was his hands. You couldn't trust him because there was a few. He had quite a few drops when it counted. Mm-hmm. So that kind of held McKenzie back with Dable. Since Dable's left, though, it's been a big issue. We're okay, we're going to use this guy as a gadget guy. But I haven't seen any jet sweeps or pop passes or
that's gone.
Any real gadget stuff from the guy.
Here's
motion and then bubble screen.
Yeah.
John Brown, though, was short, and we used him on the deep, though. And he was sweet. So he was considered a short
but
receiver.
he was always an outside guy.
No, I know. I'm just saying he was a smaller receiver though.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just throwing that out
when
there.
He came
I think
in, no one looked at him as a gadget guy. They always looked at him as an outside.
No, I know. I get it. I was just saying about the size wise, but I would say this. I think I almost think McDermott has a little part to play with this because under Dable and then even Dorsey a little bit, they still had those plays implemented in the system where they would use more jet sweeps and pop passes and a little bit more of that. But I think Dorsey's second year is where, remember, things kind of got a little bit basic, a little bit predictable. And I think Brady is really predictable in some sense. He doesn't want to do a lot of those. He just wants to kind of just stick to the traditional kind of play calling and get that down really good. But like I said, you don't need to implement it a lot in a game, but it would be nice to have those still in a game here and there. Because if you go back and really look at McKenzie, when I went back and watched those Josh Allen, like top 100, whatever throws, a lot of those were some fun plays and McKenzie jet sweeps, pop passes. Like a lot of them, he was involved in a lot of those passes, and we just don't really see that anymore. So maybe like I said, maybe that's also because he's hurt, Curtis Samuel, and I would like to see Hamler. Like he hasn't even been called up yet.
No.
So let me ask you this.
Yep.
How much is that due to chemistry. You have to remember those years of the Dayball, they had the same wide receiver room for years. We've turned over our wide receiver room every year since.
I mean, the offense didn't really take off until they got Diggs in the building, and that took off the first year. You know what I mean? So I don't know if we can say same receivers for multiple years.
That 2019 season when we went to the playoffs with Beasley and Brown, right?
Well, Brown was hurt at the end there, and our best receiver in the playoffs was Duke Williams. So right.
You saw the progression from when we had nobody to those two guys, and then we brought in Diggs. So now Brown went from being a 1 to being a really good 2.
Yeah.
You saw Beasley go from being the 2 to being just the safety valve, and then Diggs became that guy. And then the next year we brought in Sanders and Gabe Davis.
Yep.
Right? And then the receiver room got real good and was deep. So we were 5 deep. But since that 13-second year where Sanders retired, Beasley was gone, Smoke was gone. Now you have Diggs and Davis. And you tried to use McKenzie, but that didn't work. And then you tried to bring in Hardy. That didn't work.
Yeah.
And then we actually brung back John Brown and
at what
Beasley.
point do we finally actually build our wide receiver room for more than 1 year? Even this year, Amari, 1 year guy. Holland's a 1 year guy. Outside of Keon and Shakir, we have a bunch of 1 year dudes on our roster.
But the biggest difference is the type of offense that Brady is calling. He's being asked to call a pro style offense. If you look at the formations that they run, it's not an air Coryell, it's not an air raid system, which is what Brady got learning up under Sean Payton. You know what I mean? That's his wheelhouse, and that's the type of offense that Curtis Samuel is used to playing. He's a downfield receiver. He's a big play receiver in that sense. Yeah. And when you look at the plays that are being called now, they're all high efficiency throws for Josh Allen. I think a lot of that has to do with it's a Sean McDermott thing for me, because he doesn't want the chances for interceptions. Most of the easier throws are in your West Coast or your pro style types of offenses, which is why I think we're seeing what we're seeing now. I think it's really a matter of Josh has kind of mastered a way of being himself within this pro style system, which is a blessing, but at the same time, it's not peak Josh. It's not 2020 Josh. It's not, Josh freaking Allen like we're used to seeing, where who cares if he throws 60 interceptions? He's throwing 160 touchdowns. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's receiver oriented or not. I think it's more offense.
And I look at 2020, the depth of our receiver room was legit. And then go to 2022. Right, when we had Sanders and Davis as our 4th and 5th guys, that receiver room was super deep. I look at our receiver room now. Coleman's coming on, but really it's Shakir and Amari, and then we still haven't figured out how to get our tight ends involved.
I don't think that's going to happen, man. They think if they didn't know how to do it with Knox, why would they think they know how to do it with Kincaid? It makes no sense.
It's one of those things. I really honestly think it has to do with the depth of what we have. Yeah. And my issue is Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott spend all of their assets on defense, and they think about the offense as a secondary. Josh,
I agree, but I think it's a little bit of McDermott sprinkled in there as well. I do. I think McDermott's. I think going back to last year, Mikey, we said this, Mikey, me and you, that if you go back to last year before they fired Dorsey, the offense was not having fun. The offense was way different than it was the year before under Ken Dorsey. Which was a top 5 offense. The guys were having fun out there. Josh was being Josh, and then things changed. And they even said that in the offseason. They want Josh dialing it back. They don't want him running as much. They want him more of staying in the pocket. So I think McDermott definitely put a stamp in it. And then when things went wrong, guess who got fired? Ken Dorsey. And then what was McDermott to do but tell Brady, fuck it. Just have Josh be Josh again. And if you remember that very first game, remember, Mikey? Mm-hmm. Josh Allen fucking takes off. I think it was the very first play running, which It didn't happen for the first 7 games of the season. Yep. Like all of a sudden now the offense is clicking again because I think McDermott was like, all right, this is not going good, and they had the hit piece. He's like, fuck it, just go ahead, like, whatever works.
Right? He'll put Josh's body on the line when it comes to saving his job, but otherwise, no.
Right. And I think this offseason, obviously getting rid of Diggs, getting a new, and then Brady. Now it's Brady's system, right? Brady had a whole offseason to go, okay. And then I think McDermott also said, hey, I still kind of want to be somewhat of a balanced team.
I'm fine because our running
I'm good with it, but you can't take some of the elements out that I feel like they have, right? Like the jet sweeps and motions, like the deep shots. Yeah, like we're really playing it almost safe ball more than anything, right? And there are some things we get frustrated. Like, where's the slant passes? We don't do a lot of slants anymore. Like, we don't do a lot of things that we used to do that are somewhat normal. We can't do a running back screen for the life of us. Like, still, for like years.
I'm with you on that. I like this year's offense better than I like the offense under Dorsey because you see more schemed. I had an issue with Josh always having to be on the same page and everything was an option route. With Dable and with Dorsey, everything was an option. When you got there, you can go one of 3 ways, and you and the quarterback had to be on the same page. Dorsey tried to do that, and it just didn't work. And you saw that down the stretch with Gabe Davis and Josh. They weren't on the same page at all, and Josh kept throwing interceptions because
that was bad.
Davis go one way, Josh would throw it the other. It happened in
that was a cluster.
When we lost in the Philly game, it happened in the Miami game where we were trying to give it to him at the end. And then we moved into this year, you see more easy button throws for Josh. Guys are now, option 1, option 2, and option 3 are all coming into his view at the same time. And Josh is being more willing to take the check down. So we're not seeing the bombs yet, but I think we're playing this way as guys are going to have to start coming up. They're not going to be able to play in that too deep shell because 1, we're going to run the ball, and 2, Josh is going to take the underneath. And as long as he stays, patient, those deeper passes will open up later in the year.
I hope, but I still think we need speed kills, man. And I think we have guys
I do think
that can provide that, and we're not really using that to our. You know what I mean? We have 4-3 guys. Like our fastest guy right now, obviously, like Shakir's the one guy yards after catch, but we have other guys. Like if Curtis Samuel, like I said, go on IR, man, because he is super. He ain't slow, folks. The dude can move and pull Hamler up or the other guy. Which, by the way, I still don't get why they called the other guy up. I forget his name. Mikey, what's his name? The guy they called up last week who had one game in the end of one season. Virgil. 70. How are you going to call that guy up over Hamler? It made no sense to me, but whatever.
Kane. Deion Kane.
Yeah, I just don't get it. But whatever. I don't care. Use them then. Use them for fine. If you're going to bring up that guy, then fine. Use him for. Now, I noticed they did he was in some pre-snap motions. So I was like, okay, but they never went to him, not once. So it's like I want to see use the speed for something. Make defenses be honest with you, man. They have to know that guy. Hey, that guy could get the ball, dude. We just don't do it. We haven't done it. Look at other teams, man. They did it last night with the Jets. They had to play like that. If the idiot dude dropped the ball before going in the end zone, he had a touchdown.
Malachi Corley.
Yeah.
But also a guy with a lot of speed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. A simple, but yet now you can't run it over and over. I get that, but you have that guy there to do that one play, that game.
If you're gonna run the motion
at the right
all
time.
Game long, run it off that motion. It's okay to hand it off to that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's not gonna hurt anything.
Yes,
but, the comment here, he's right. Josh is as efficient this year as he's ever been. And it's due to the scheme of actually having receivers that are running routes rather than options all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. I think his deep ball's a little off, though. It's the only thing I would say.
And if you listen to Jordan Palmer, that's all just chemistry and learning.
Learning the I believe that, too. I definitely believe that, too. Because if you go back in time, like John Brown and him always had a really good chemistry on deep ball. He hit him a lot. Even Diggs, really. Diggs and him had obviously.
I think last year.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
But Josh got hurt early, and he played through.
But he did hit him. He dropped him.
I mean, he hit him the one he needed to hit him on.
Yeah, really.
He did overthrow him a ton too.
He did. No, he did for sure.
Scott, 99-000. Scott's
Hey,
already given his
it
prediction,
should be
99-0.
It should be.
I know, right?
Better
So,
be.
okay, so look, we talked about it on the offensive side of the ball, or on the defense side of the ball. On the offense, what do you want to see? What are the keys on the offense that you need to see Buffalo do?
They need to throw the ball early and often. If Javon Holland is not playing, that's been the biggest bugaboo
And
for
Siler.
Josh Allen. Yeah,
And
and so they not only have no pass rush, but their defensive line is badly damaged right now. Their best secondary player is down. Jalen Ramsey is a shell of himself. Throw the ball. You have all the time in the world to do it. Now you should be able to pick that team apart and just spend the whole second half running the ball to run the clock out.
Be beautiful, wouldn't it be?
No.
Get up 28-0, 35-0, and then just be able to run Ray Davis and James.
Listen,
Cook second half.
there's no reason why we can't see a Detroit Lions-esque game where they got nothing but short fields and
Right.
freaking Jared Goff. Josh should only throw for 80 yards the entire game, and they still score 50 points.
Right. Field position, the turnovers.
Yeah.
That's why
This-
Detroit got up that way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
They
yeah.
had great field position the whole game on kick returns. They had two 50-yard kick returns. They had turnovers on their side of the field. Like
Hell,
they didn't have to
Jared
do
Goff
anything
threw for
really.
85 yards or something like that, 86 yards.
Yeah,
or something like that.
but they were right. They were on like their Tennessee's 40 like almost every time.
Josh
Yeah.
threw for 170 last time against Miami because we got up so big in the first half because of the turnovers that he didn't have to do anything.
Exactly.
Connor has a great question. Are we afraid of who might replace Benford if he doesn't play? Well, we know who's going to replace him. It's going to be Elam.
Yeah.
Am I worried about that? No, not really. But I do think Benford's going to play. I don't think he's going to sit out.
Yeah, I do too, man.
I think both Benford and Bernard are going to play.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Benford has always been a very durable player, and the way he plays corner, you got to keep in mind a lot of the way that the corners play, they play like safeties. You know, and this is probably the first year that they're not able to ask their safeties to play like corners. You know what I mean? Even though Hamlin has played a little bit of corner, but I wouldn't dare ask him to cover anybody one-on-one. I just wouldn't do it. But with the way that they play defense, Benford is not going to have to do much in this game. He's really not. I think the game is going to be in hand probably mid to late second quarter, and then it's over after that. I can't see the game getting to the point where, Benford is getting torched or because he's injured or something like that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with this one too. I want to see more of the play action. We started the game with Josh checks out of a run into a play action. I loved that.
Yep.
I want to see more of that. Under center play action. Guys are running by themselves because everyone's coming up to stop the run now. Because we actually have a run game. And we can run when we want to.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that definitely helps. What do you feel about James Cook, real quick, before we move on? Just talk about James Cook, man. Because I got my thoughts. Everybody knows. People hate me, by the way, because of this. But go ahead. I want to know.
Keyshawn is going to kill me. Keyshawn is going to kill me.
Oh boy.
I am actually not a fan of James Cook.
Oh man, me and you are Aramis. We are good. This is why I invited him. This
You
guy's
have someone on your side?
Me and you. Go ahead. Speak. Preach.
He really gives me RB2 vibes. His body type, he's more of a slasher than anything else. I think he really benefits from a great run scheme in a sense. Aaron Cromer's job that he's done with his offensive line has really benefited James Cook in a major way. When you look at the difference between Ray Davis out there running the ball and James Cook out there running the ball, it really looks like, and don't get me wrong, James Cook makes some people miss here and there, and he does a good job at reading his zone reads. But man, when Ray Davis is in that game, he is popping helmets. He is making people pay for trying to tackle him. That to me is what an RB1 should be. When you put the guy out there on the field, he's there to hurt the defense, not to beat the defense, to hurt the defense. That's what Derrick Henry does. That's what a Joe Mixon does. Those guys go out there and they make the defense pay for trying to tackle him. And that's what I love about Ray Davis. He's got the same kind of speed that James Cook has. is he's got better hands than James Cook seems to have, and he's a tougher runner at the end of his runs than James Cook is. So from my dollar, I think Ray Davis would last a full season, whereas it might be tough to see James Cook do the same.
Yeah, I've been saying the same thing, man. I think Ray Davis. Look, man, I like James Cook, and people get so mad at me because I'm like, he's a good running back. I'm not knocking James Cook. I think James Cook is a good running back, but he's not great, and he's not elite, and he's not dynamic. And people are always, well, he was top 5 last year. I don't care. I know what I see. He's terrible at pass protection. He's gotten a tad better, but he's still bad. He doesn't run well between the tackles. He's not super shifty. That's not what he does well. That, like Devin Singletary, if Devin Singletary had better speed, he'd be a better back than James Cook. I'm sorry. He was way shiftier. He was stronger between the tackles. James Cook lower body is really thin, so his contact balance isn't the greatest. Ray Davis, on the other hand, good contact balance, always falling forward, runs between the tackles well, pass protection pretty good. He could get better at that, but he's still better than Cook, and he has good hands.
Mikey Hergen.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think he's as fast as James Cook.
Man, we must have a shitty RB1. Listen,
no, I don't think he's shitty. I don't think he's shitty. I just don't think he's well-rounded as some of the premier running backs in the NFL are.
Yeah,
I think he's
must be crappy.
I think,
Must have
put it
ran
this
through
way,
wide holes last
he
week
won't.
to get
I think the
100 yards
offensive line is, yes, when the offensive line goes against a poor defensive line and they beat that, yes, James Cook looks phenomenal. But if you go and look at some of the games where Ray Davis took over because his defensive line was holding their own, Ray Davis outperformed James Cook in all those games when he went against better defensive lines. Absolutely, he did. So,
I mean, do we think Rachaad White is an RB1?
No.
What's the difference between Cook and Rachaad White?
What the running style? Rachaad White can't run between the tackles at all.
What really? Did you see him play last year?
Last year, yeah, I think he led the team in targets because it's the reason why they went out and got Bucky Irving.
I like Bucky Irving, by the way.
I like Bucky Irving too. I've seen Rachaad White play, and from these two eyeballs right here, to me, him and James Cook look like a very similar player.
I would say that Cook is a better runner. White's a better receiver. You don't see White drop the ball like James Cook drops the ball.
Okay.
You know, are they similar? Yes, I will give you that. Do I think James Cook's an RB1? No, I don't think he's an RB1, and he shouldn't.
I think they should do a two-headed monster, Mikey.
Yep,
I do too. I don't think Ray Davis is ready for RB1 yet either.
I don't think so either.
I think together they're fantastic. You know, very much. I wish they would use them the same way Detroit uses their two.
Yes,
100%.
Thank you, Mike. There you go. Now you're speaking.
I'm not going to crap on either one of the guys. I think they both have limitations, but together they are fantastic.
Yeah, I might just be a little bit old school with my running backs. If I'm gonna have an RB1, if I'm gonna have a guy that's taking most of the carries, he's got to look the part. He's got to do everything. He's got to be that Adrian Peterson. He's got to be he's got to be Breece Hall, like those Taylor, type of backs. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. That's right, exactly.
Yeah. Give me those type of backs. The Saquons
100%.
And
I
would love to have one of those.
And we haven't had that, and I was saying it too, like why do we keep drafting smaller back? Like we haven't had like a good combo, like
drafting smaller
so like Shady and Carlos Williams was a great 1-2 punch. Right, Carlos was a bigger guy, straight line runner, but Duke could hit the hole, and then Shady was Shady, right?
And
Travis Henry was that dude
with Allen,
back in the day.
Who the Jets just brought in, the rookie. Allen.
Oh, Braylon Allen, yeah.
Allen.
Yeah,
that's the guy or Isaac Garundo, who's in San Francisco. Big dude, runs real fast. Those were the guys that I was screaming for, and we ended up with Ray Davis. Now, I don't dislike Ray Davis. I think he runs hard, but he doesn't have the size for the thunder that we need.
Yeah.
What
do you like I said in the future?
What do you guys think about the Bills culture and how it kind of dictates the type of players that we draft? Because obviously Ray Davis is the product of, culture first, as opposed to a guy like Braylon Allen who might have been a little bit more effective and maybe an actual RB1.
sometimes
Great question.
I wish,
Mikey, go for it.
Sometimes I wish McDermott would get away from that. It's okay to have not people who aren't choir boys in your locker room. I understood why they did it at the beginning, to build the culture, because where the culture was at when Rex left to what Sean had to build, he had to rebuild so I understood that. But now let's take some chances on some of these guys. It's okay. You have a strong leadership team. And maybe he didn't feel this year as we got rid of a lot of our leaders. But I haven't seen them look for that guy. You know what they also don't do is take that injured guy, put him on a red shirt year, knowing you're going to have him for the future.
Yeah.
Voorhees, who was out of USC. I wanted to take him in the 4th round. He went in the 6th. We didn't touch him. We never grabbed that injured guy who's super good in college and redshirt him so we can have him in the future. That's never part of our plan. Instead, we grabbed Luke Tenuta.
Right. What's really funny about that is Sean doesn't like to start rookies, like just in general as like a rule of thumb. I think Trey White has been Trey White. Who else?
Christian Benford. So you got to give him credit for Benford because he did go over Elam, which is very surprising. So
he likes his corners though, so they might get a little bit of a pass on.
But he doesn't like his safeties.
Osiris,
Torrance.
Yeah, Torrance was another one.
Edmonds.
Tremaine Edmonds. That's correct.
Deion Dawkins, I think, came in and started.
Dawkins, 2017.
Deion started because Cordy Glenn got hurt.
No, they traded Deion.
Deion's rookie year.
I'm sorry, Cordy. Yeah, they traded Cordy
in Deion's second year. The first year,
it was.
They traded him because they moved Deion. Deion was battling with I think Mills at right tackle, and then Cordy got hurt, and so they slid him to left tackle, and they found out he could play left tackle.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he can play left tackle, but. I'll let it be known. I'm not a Deion Dawkins fan at all.
Okay.
Ooh, man, you're throwing some hot takes.
I'm not a. Listen,
hold on. I gotta hit something for that. I gotta hit a. Hold on. Wow, I wish I had it, man. I definitely gotta hit it. So go ahead.
Yes. For me, the Deion Dawkins thing is, he's two people in two different scenarios. And I get that everybody has their work face and their home face and all that kind of stuff. But for somebody to be as confident verbally as Deion Dawkins is and then get bull rushed into his quarterback in the most important game all season long and stop his quarterback from getting the ball to Shakir in the back of the end zone, you can't say you the best and you get bull rushed like that. And then what's funny about that is it happened again in the Texans game when they were at the 3 and Josh had a chance to get the ball to Shavers over the middle coming from behind that linebacker right in the middle of the field. Josh didn't have time because why? Here's Deion Dawkins hugging his shoulder, getting bull rushed back into him. You cannot come out here and call yourself the snowman and all this other stuff and talk about who you are and what you do and all that when you are getting manhandled by the better players in the game. Is one thing to come out and beat the average guys. Yeah, you can be above average, but be humble about it. But he talks too much.
I think he's top 10, but he's more like 7 to 10 in the top 10.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first.
I don't think he's top 5.
A fan of Snowman.
Listen. I don't disagree with your takes on that, but you're talking about him going against the probably the best defensive player in football, in Chris Jones.
I'm also talking about who did he go against? Danielle Hunter in the Texans game?
Yeah, my issue is why didn't we have someone over there to chip and help out?
Because they trust him to be that guy.
Well, that's a coach.
Okay, look, man. All my thoughts on Deion. I think Deion is a good level. I think he is good. But I think he also listen. I also think I think he has games where he doesn't show up, and that's fair to say. But that doesn't mean he's a bad tackle or he's.
I'm not saying he's a bad tackle. I respect him. I respect his game, but
or that he can
like how much he talks.
But there's games where he plays at a really elite level almost,
like the Jets games. Yeah, the Jets game he manhandled.
Right, and then there's games where he just whiffs. I don't know, like he just doesn't show up for some odd reason. But I will say this though, this year, and I was talking to Mikey on Monday, we were talking about this. Our offensive line is starting to get that edge, which I always wanted and which it always should be. Like, so Spencer Brown and Deion Dawkins is those guys, right? And I want more of it. Like, I want more. I don't care if a penalty here and there, like for you just getting a little bit more aggressive. That's what I want. All right, that Richie Incognito, bring me that style offensive lineman. I think Deion is starting to become that a little bit more. Like maybe even Spencer Brown's bringing it out of him. I don't know. Because Spencer Brown is, I think, probably the most talkative, most aggressive as far as that goes. But Deion's right there.
The most aggressive
Deion's right
might
there.
be Cybo. He's just not.
No, but I mean, talking. I'm talking about just up in your face. Like Spencer Brown will get up in your face and right, like talking
not
that
happy
shit.
with you right now, Armis.
Ooh,
listen, that's fine. Listen, you want to know where Deion Dawkins ranked? He was 96th on the NFL's top 100. Now, okay, you might think, ooh, wow. Deion Dawkins was also named among the top 32 offensive tackles in the NFL. There are only 32 starting left tackles in the league. So what are we really saying? Are we counting right tackles? To me, the stats that people would use to defend a Deion Dawkins don't really mean that much. He's not an elite left tackle. He's an above average left tackle. I'm not saying he's a bad player. For my money, though, if you're going to talk like you're an elite left tackle, you should never get bull rushed like that. You, at the very least, grab the guy and take him down. Do something, right? If you're not cheating, you're not trying. But you cannot get embarrassed like that. And furthermore, I get that it was Chris Jones that did it to him, but don't go and play the Texans and have the same thing happen to you by a much older Danielle Hunter. You can't do that either.
Trent Williams has had that happen to him recently. Is he back now?
But Trent Williams is very, very old. He's much older than Deion Dawkins. I don't want to hear that.
He's still ranked the number one left tackle in football.
I get it, but he's also playing in an offense that is schemed extremely well to run the ball and limit his exposure to pass rush.
Because you know what? They send someone over there to chip and help.
100%. That's why stats bother me when people focus on just the stats. If you're not watching tape and analysis and stats, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And for Deion Dawkins' sake, I'm sorry, the numbers with the tape and the analysis don't bear out that he's an elite left tackle.
I don't know how many elite left tackles there truly are in the NFL, though.
I agree with that too.
That's part of the problem.
Yeah,
I think I've watched the tape. I've looked at the numbers. I believe he is a top 10 left tackle. I think he's closer to 10. Because I can't count how many left tackles there are that's better than him. Now, does that mean he's elite? No, that means that maybe there's a lack of an elite left tackles.
You better, by the way, Aramis, you better really be careful because we've had Tim Settle and join in the chat when we were talking bad about Tim Settle. He came on here. He was not happy with me and Mikey in the chat, and he would say, "We don't know what the fuck we're talking about." And his name was Tim Settle, and I said, "Jesus, that's funny." Now it could have been a fake one, but I don't know.
I watched Tim Settle fall down and pull his defensive lineman down with him.
Bro, so the long story,
for a long touchdown yet. So, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay.
So the story of it, Aramis, real quick goes like, I did a video one day, and I was like talking, and it wasn't even about Tim Settle. It was like just me rambling on like I always do, and I happened to bring his name up, and somebody commented under Tim Settle and said, like, shut the fuck up, you don't know football. And so I told Mikey, I'm like, bro, there's a guy named Tim Settle who said this. So we're live one day, and who do you know comes in the chat? Tim Settle, about us talking about Tim Settle. And I'm like, bro, is this Tim fucking Settle? So funny, bro. So now it's like, man. But yeah, man, I thought that was a kick, man. So you never know. Deion Dawkins, the snowman, can wind up in our chat yelling at you. Be careful, Aaron.
Listen, I hope so. I hope so. My son met him at a party, right? And my son goes, y'all better win. And Deion goes, or else what? And jumps at my son like that. Man, okay. I wish I was there.
Yeah.
I wish I was there.
I'm guessing you don't got the cereal, right? You don't got the snowflake?
No, not at all.
Listen, I like Deion. I'm glad he's.
Oh, come on, man.
Nah. Nah.
And we can
Listen,
agree.
Leak, I love you, bro, but
We can
nah.
agree to disagree on what we think elite is.
I
define elite as a player who is consistently above and beyond his competition. That's what I would define as elite. A player that when they go out on the field, you're going to see them beat the man across from them at least 90 to 95% of the time. I'm not expecting him to be perfect, but if I put Justin Jefferson on the field, I know what he's going to do. If I put prime Von Miller on the field, I know what he's going to do. If I put Josh Allen on the field, I know what he's going to do. But when I go but when I go and I look at Deion Dawkins, in prime moments, we've seen Josh Allen rise above. Josh Allen's numbers in the playoffs are much better than his regular season numbers. Completion percentage, all that stuff. So he rises to the occasion, right? Deion Dawkins, from what we've seen so far, Josh is either getting bumped by him or running for his life. You can't rely on just the regular season stats to support the player. And I think that's where the fans here get caught up a lot. We win so much in the regular season that they fall in love with these players, and then they forget about what happens in the playoffs because they spend the offseason trying to forget about it. To me, that's the problem.
And we have the same issue along our defensive line.
Yeah.
We have guys who look really good in the regular season.
Greg Rousseau is not that great.
Ed Oliver.
Yeah. Ed Oliver's not that great.
I think Ed Oliver's good. Yeah. I think we have a lot of good players, but we don't have that's why me and Mike were talking about we don't have that.
We don't
exactly.
have that.
But can Ed Oliver play without a good one tech next to him? We've seen what that looks like, and the answer is no. So does that really make Ed Oliver a good player, or does that make him a Tua-like player where he's dependent on a specific system or circumstance in order to be extremely effective?
Well, here's my question. How much is he being held back by McDermott's system? Because you go look at Poona Ford. He couldn't get a game day jersey. He's killing it in LA with the Chargers.
I agree with that too.
How much? You watch guys leave Buffalo along the defensive line,
and they do great.
Really well. How much is it McDermott's scheme that's holding
Jerry Hughes?
Yeah,
Jerry Hughes
went to Houston.
Older Jerry Hughes
had double-digit sacks.
Older Jerry Hughes. I'm with you.
I think that's been part of the problem with the way that Sean builds his defense in general. Like one of the things we talked about today was the linebackers. The linebacker experiment to me, yeah, that's fine. Deion hater, I'll take that. But for me, when you rely on linebackers that are converted safeties, I get that the experiment worked with Matt Milano, and I get that it's pretty much working with Terrell Bernard. But you have to ask yourself, is it really working when it's not living up to the primary thing that Sean McDermott said was the most important ability of any player, which is availability, right? Matt Milano has not played a full season since he's been a starter. Okay?
He played one
I hear you
full
there.
season.
I hear you.
All-Pro. And he's played
one
full season, and he's gotten 2 contract extensions since.
Right. And then you look at Terrell Bernard, he's missed 3 games, 2 games, and then 3 games this season. We're not even we just got to the halfway point of the season.
That's what happens when you keep drafting undersized defensive
linemen.
Exactly. When you put guys out of position and you ask them to play that different position at an elite level, and then they don't, you're the one that looks bad, not the player.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you there too. 100%. Me and Mikey say it all the time. Like, we're undersized. That defensive line, the linebackers undersized, and then we wonder why there's injuries every year. Also, too, I will say this too. Another thing that we have a problem with in Buffalo is players not living up to their contracts. Like, it's constant. We have so many players that are just underperforming their contracts. It's crazy, and then we wonder why we have no money or little to spend when we had opportunities to go and get real playmakers like Derrick Henry. I don't know, just throwing that name out there, right? But you go and sign like MVS. What?
Jeremy
I could have told you that was bad. Or re-signing certain players. Like, why? Yeah, sorry, go ahead,
You
Mike.
could have Jeremy Chin, and instead we went with Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards can't even get a freaking jersey on game.
Oh,
day.
and Mike Edwards wants to be traded. By the way, he supposedly.
You're telling me we wouldn't have enjoyed having Jeremy Chin, or Xavier McKinney, or one of those guys rather than DeMar Hamlin? And I don't. Isn't DeMar hate? I like DeMar. I think he's better in reserve.
He's not a start. Yeah, he's not a starting safety. He's definitely not a starting safety.
Do you guys know how many targets Dawson Knox has?
I think he has 11.
He's got 11 targets for 97 yards and 1 touchdown, and the guy is making what, 13, 14 million?
He adjusted his contract, but
He's
it's
making
still
7
high.
this year. Get it right.
Yeah.
But next year he's gonna make. Next year he'll make 14. Dude has 11 targets in 8 games. 11 targets in 8 games.
No, it's pathetic. Like, listen, I think here's the deal, man. I think that, and I talked about this. I really believe when it comes to Dawson Knox, great guy, great teammate, great locker room dude. But I think at the end of that, what was the season? 2022, right, Mikey? When we had the bad off season, everything was really out of control. I think that's when Dawson lost his brother as well. I almost think that was a contract because of everything that was going on, right? His brother just passed away, and he came off a 9 touchdown season, and I think Bean was just caught up, man. Honestly, with everything that was going on, and bro, he overpaid him. And now we don't even know how to use him. And it's like, and everyone keeps saying in the chat, and I get it. Yeah, great guy. And I get that. Great. He is a great. I don't know personally, but he seems like a great guy. Yeah. And all that is cool, but we need somebody who's productive. And I don't want to pay, or at least I don't want my team paying that much for a guy that is only out there to block. Like, stop. Like, you can go out there and get Lee fucking Smith out of retirement who can block, I'm sure,
exactly.
for $500,000 a year, veteran minimum. So, look, man, I think it was a poor decision. I'm glad that he at least redid his contract to somewhat make it reasonable, I guess. But
he's still top 15 in terms of tight end salaries, though.
Absolutely, still overpaying Dawson Knox, and but it is what it is. I think at this point,
the Buffalo Bills
they just want to stick with him.
Somebody?
They do it all the time. They do it all the time. I'm not surprised. They do it all the time.
Can I just tell him real quick? Arioli Grande, I love the name. By the way, I have to say that. But to the point, no, I don't think there's 250 pound linebackers out there. But if you look at what Tremaine Edmonds was, the dude rarely missed games. He wasn't as good as Milano or Bernard, granted, but I'm going by what Sean said. Sean wants guys who are available. And the 2 best guys in this defense left are the only guys that can't seem to stay on the field. That bothers me.
Also, you go look at Fred Warner and how he's built, then go look at Bernard and Milano and how they're built. Tell me you don't see a difference. They may weigh the same. They're built different.
Yep. They're built different. Yep, that is true.
I don't need a 250-pound linebacker. 230 would be fine with me, but have him built to be a linebacker that can withstand it. Like, Bernard's small.
No, Bernard's like a safety, dude.
NFL
he's
small.
Like a safety.
He's bigger than me, and but he's NFL small.
Yeah.
But he's so fast and good, and I love him, but he can't stay on the field.
McDermott was trying. You know what? I think,
and this
I believe
was
what
bad luck. He got stepped
what he was going. Yeah, the ankle thing. But I think what he was going for was speed, to get try to compete with the Dolphins and their speed. But that doesn't, dude. There's a lot of other teams out there that don't rely just on speed. And I think he wanted just that speedy, team that can get to the edges quick. But we still don't get to the edges quick. So I don't get it.
Right. When you play a nickel defense, it's going to be tough for your linebackers to get to the edge.
Refuse to get out of nickel defense. Refuse to get out of nickel defense.
Yeah.
That's another thing too.
They'll go dime.
Yeah. And then Cam Lewis gets to play on the field. Oh my gosh, my Cam.
He's losing his mind, folks. Scott, he's losing it.
Scott, this made me laugh.
I'm done with this show. I'm out of here.
Scott, this made me laugh.
Damn chat.
Everyone else back there came on.
Right. It's from me banging on this desk so much.
You know what, Dirty, you're right. This was totally a Bean mess up. You don't pay your tight end top of the tier money, and then go draft the tight end in the first round.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
In Bean's defense, he wasn't expecting Kincaid to be there. Like everyone thought Kincaid was going top 15, and he was there, so he just went and got him.
I didn't hate the draft pick.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. I thought Kincaid.
Didn't know how to use two tight ends.
No, exactly.
I thought should have known better because they couldn't know how to use one.
Yeah, like I don't hate. Exactly. Like I don't hate going for the guy that should have been in a top 10, top 15. Like, yeah, go ahead, man. Like that you have to at that point. But if you don't know how to use them, your core offense OC doesn't know how to use them correctly, then it's a waste. It's a total waste. Like, so yeah, I'm with you, Mikey. Like I don't. They still do not know how to do 12 personnel. They still don't know how to get Dawson Knox involved. And at this point, I don't think any defense is even worried about Dawson Knox. So you might as well, I guess, try to get him involved because I think defenses are just sleeping on him. Look at last week, wide open. I don't think anyone's even concerned. Yeah, I don't think anyone's concerned at this point. Is he our secret weapon now? He's our Duke.
Knox can still play. It's just how much are we going to use him? How much are we going to target him?
Yeah.
How much are we going to put him in the game plan? Because at this point, I still have an issue. We don't use Kincaid enough.
Yeah.
Well, we don't.
Kincaid is the most targeted receiver by Bean's definition of, because when they drafted Kincaid, they said, well, we got a receiver, and that's all we said we would get. Okay, whatever. But Kincaid is still the most targeted on the team. So he's getting chances. I think it's just
where his chances are coming.
Right. Teams are taking away the seam, and if that's all he's running is the seam,
but he's not. He's running a lot of outs and short shit. And that's
the route tree is so small for him right now.
Exactly. Yeah. The ones that he really pops on are the deep corners. Like those he does great on those against safeties and corners.
Or the long crosser.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe call more of those and see what happens.
Do something. Shit. We're paying a lot of money to our tight ends. Let's use them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But again, anytime we throw to them, it doesn't means we're taking away from Shakira, who's been our best receiver.
Yeah.
And I think Coleman too. I think they've been not using him the right way either. I think now they're starting to understand, that dude can be effective, especially in the red zone. Like, use that dude more in the red zone. Use that guy more. He should be leading this team in touchdowns, to be honest with you, at least for the receiving point. He is that kind of guy that you can throw fade routes to. He can box out defenders. That guy is that good, man. I think right now it's Josh trying to build that chemistry now with Keon. And that's where that's at. But I think you see it slowly coming along, and I think you will start seeing Keon Coleman get used more in the red zone and in goal line situations.
I can't wait for Amari to get more involved too, because that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You can run your three wide receivers out there with Coleman, Amari, and Shakir, and then you can run your tight end with Kincaid or Knox. You can do so many different things with that.
I would just tell Amari, you know what? When you're out there, just run the route. Don't even worry about, let him get acclimated throughout the season, and then have, mastered it. Having mastered it by the playoffs, then we really see him. Like, I would take that. You know what I mean? Because Coleman is starting to pick up his play. They're realizing how they need to use him. They're finding ways to get Kincaid open. Shakir is probably back to about 90% health. You never really can tell with high ankle sprains. They tend to linger a while if you don't let them fully heal. Yep. So I think with the way that the offense is kind of evolving now, even just having Cooper on the field as a decoy at this point is enough. So we don't really need that much from him, which I'll take. But I want to give some relief to Scott here, because it seems like he's about to burst a blood. I know he's about to burst a blood vessel here. Let me say this. Let me say this, Scott. I think the team we have this year and the coaching staff that we have this year is the best assembly that we've seen since 2020, right? And I mean, seriously, bar none. There's no other season that I've gone into where I am certain that the team, that the coaches know how to make in-game adjustments, which is, I talked about this before. A friend of mine used to work for the Bills, and my pop played for the Bills back with Bruce and Thurm and those boys, right? And one of the things that the Bills staff was famous for was not making adjustments. Their senior offensive assistant was Mike Shula. And if you go back and you do the research on Mike Shula back when he was with the Panthers and he was co-coordinator with, I forget the other guy's name, but they were notorious for not being able to make in-game adjustments. And when you watch the Bills, even from the 2020 season up to now, the knock that I always had on them was you get to halftime and you would think, okay, they're going to go in, they're going to make the adjustments, come out, and the rest of the game is going to be over because we have the talent to do it. And they don't. This year, we've seen the exact opposite of that, where we start slow, we get to halftime, and then all of a sudden, we blow the whole thing out of the water. We take the team down. We destroy people. And that's one of the things that I love the most, right? I just, for me, that coaching staff, those adjustments, combined with Josh playing the best football of his career. When you talk about efficiency, when you talk about great decision-making, when you talk about one of the things that my co-host Key gets on Josh Allen for is not taking control as a real franchise quarterback of this franchise. You know, understanding the power that he has to make things happen. We've seen now over the last 3 games, Josh Allen is starting to change the play at the line a lot more. You're seeing a lot more audibles, changing out of bad calls, getting into good calls, getting the right players, checked and aware of what they're supposed to do. Those are the things that we need to see to give me hope. And I mean not hope for the regular season, because obviously the rest of the NFL is much weaker than it was last season, but for the playoffs, because these are things that need to happen in the playoffs. These are things we've seen the Chiefs do against us in the playoffs. These are things that we've seen, other good teams, the Bengals do against us in playoffs. So that to me shows me this is a playoff ready team. And I think they're ready now.
And that goes back to Cromer being more involved. That goes back to Ronald Curry's involvement. Joe Brady now has the staff around him that he trusts, that can make those in-between drives, as Dirty was talking about. In-between drives, they make adjustments. Yep. Also on the defensive side, that goes back to Bobby Babbage and all the new guys that he's brought in and how he's listening to what they're doing. Because there's times in the first half, they're just moving up and down the field on us, and then all of a sudden, they flip a switch after one of the drives, they make an adjustment, and it works, and we shut them down.
Yeah.
The ability to make the adjustments this year is what brings me the most hope moving into the playoffs, because that's the one thing we haven't been able to do in the playoffs is adjust. It seems like they're scared and they're trying to make the perfect call, and no one's willing to adjust it.
Yep.
I just hope that continues into the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's my problem when it comes to McDermott.
But they
start puckering up there.
They weren't doing it in the regular season. Let's go back to that.
No, I agree. I think it is. I think it's night and day.
Ass kicked in the first half, and that defense shut it down in the second half.
No, I
get back. So
I'm with you 100%. Like adjustments are key in football. Like you have to have them. Like right across from you is a defensive coordinator who's doing the same thing. Like he's making adjustments. If you don't, you are fucked, pal. Like I don't care. Like that's what they're paid to do. Like it is a chess match. So. I'm with you there, man. 100% with you,
Scotty says he enjoys your say with your chest, but your wrong knocking's still lead.
That's fine.
I want to hit Connor's question before we get into and start wrapping up for the scores and all that stuff. Remember when in the offseason when we were scared about McGovern going to center? How's that transition looking?
So look, man, I wasn't scared about McGovern going to center.
Well, we had concerns.
No.
We heard about the low snaps and the high snaps.
Correct. But that was concerns. I wasn't scared. Like, here's the deal. And I think it still could be an issue moving forward. We'll find out. I just want the line to stay how it is moving forward. Like, whatever you do, have a right. Like, I'm just saying, like, have Dion there, Edwards there, McGovern, fine. I'm cool with that. If they're playing at a good level and they can continue to get better, and I think Osiris Torrance will continue to get better. I think Spencer Brown will continue to get better.
Brown has gotten better.
Right. But I still think he can even get better. Yeah. He's still young, right? So McGovern, same thing. So look, I think our weakest link, if I'm going to be real, I do think it is Edwards right now. But I don't think he's bad.
McGovern.
I don't. I think they're tied. I think Edwards and McGovern are about the same. I think they are the weakest link, but I don't think they're terrible though. I don't
selling Edwards.
He's okay. I don't think he does it for me. However, I don't think he's terrible. I think he can get
I hope
better.
he doesn't do it for you. You know.
Well, that's what she said, right?
That's what she said.
All right, so look. So my point is this, man. They got to keep the same offensive line regardless. If it's the offensive line they're going with, cool. Keep it the way it is. Stop playing musical chairs.
Let Dion actually have a left guard who's
and let Cromer,
year.
Exactly, and let Cromer be able to get these guys playing at a more of an elite level too as he continues to work with them in the offseason. And that's why I said about the whole Spencer Brown when everyone's dogging him. I said, wait till this guy gets healthy, has a year under his belt with Cromer. You're going to see, we're going to see what we got from Spencer Brown. And I think he's proven that. And I think there's a player right there, I will say, so far, he's earning his contract. So far. It's early. He just got paid this year. But I haven't seen a drop-off either so far to start this year. I think Spencer Brown will continue to get better. So I'm cool with that contract. Like, I think you have to pay your offensive linemen if they're playing at a good level because it's very hard to get offensive linemen in the NFL, at least good ones.
You know what's crazy? We talk about offensive linemen and how good and how bad they are. If you go look around the NFL, it's all the offensive line coach. Take Cleveland, for example. Had one of the best offensive lines over the last 5 years.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Callahan leaves. They're one of the worst offensive lines this year.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
We had
like
OG Bobby Johnson, and then we had somebody else, and now we have Cromer. And our offensive line is one of the better offensive lines in this league now because of Cromer. Of all the positions that is coaching dependent, offensive line and defensive line are those ones. The ability to run the right scheme for your players is the big key. And having someone like Cromer, who's one of the better offensive line coaches in football, it's why Brady was in the Patriots were so good for so long. They had that offensive line coach there forever. Same with the Indianapolis Colts. They had Howard Mudd, who was there forever.
Yeah, the Denver guy. I don't forget his name, but for the Broncos.
The offensive line coach makes or breaks the trenches. It goes back to what we talk about all the time. You win and lose in the trenches.
Absolutely.
But you look at that Cleveland, offensive line tells you everything you need to know about coaching.
Yeah, 100%, man.
All right, let's just jump into score predictions.
Start
with you, brother.
I think the Bills are going to drop a 40 burger in this game. I said it before. I'm going to say it again.
Whoa.
Stamp that bad boy right on here. Yes, sir. I think they're going to drop a 40. I'm going to give them – I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say 40-17.
40-17. All right, Tommy, what you got?
Oh boy, man, Aaron, it's tough to follow. Let me see here.
40 burger.
Jeez, 40 burger. I'm gonna go 60 burger. 60.
Yeah!
I'm not doing that.
Say it with your chest.
I'm going double quarter pounder with cheese. All right, I'm gonna go. I'll go 37-16.
You almost there. Just say 40.
40-16.
Thank you.
40-16. I said it. Go ahead.
I don't want to say 40 burger. 39. I'll give him 39.
I'm gonna say 34-24.
Wow.
10-point lead gets
I might have hit my button over here too.
10-point win gets a one. Here's the thing. I think we're gonna be up 31. I think we're
garbage time,
and it's gonna be garbage time. We're gonna basically set Josh the second half of the game, and we're gonna kick a field goal, and we're gonna win. 30.
Nah, you can't give garbage time points to the fish, man. You can't do it. Can't do it.
It's gonna be 34-24. It's gonna be a 10-point win. Watch.
Damn.
Listen, every week I say this, we always overscore and our opponents underscore. So
Mike Singletary is shaking his head at you right now.
That's fine.
Can't do it. Can't win with him. Can't do it.
Won't do it. Listen, a 10-point win in the NFL ain't good enough for you?
Not in that sense. When we giving the fish garbage time points, no sir.
That's all the fish get.
Huh?
All they get is garbage time points.
No, I would rather give them a respectable 17 and then we just blow them out of the water than to say, all right, you can have 20 points.
You know they're going to leave 2 out there to throw to get his garbage time stuff. And Sean McDermott,
no way.
To prevent.
No, there's no way they keep Tua out there in garbage time after what he just went through. There's no way.
Yeah, it depends how big the lead is, Mikey.
You're right.
That'd be risky, boy.
Have you met Mike McDaniel?
You know what, Mikey?
I think he's smoking on the sideline, brother.
Listen,
you made a great point there.
The man went from Silicon Valley to GTA 6 in one season. Like, have you seen what he dresses and looks like now? It's incredible.
You think that guy's thinking
capri
logically?
pants. Right?
Yeah.
What is going on, man?
Boys were getting smoked, and he's over there laughing on the sideline. His receiver's like, "I got 2 targets." And they're
He's
all
rocking his Don Shula 1985 glasses out there.
Okay, if you don't think they're gonna leave Tua out there for garbage time, you guys keep thinking that.
Friggin'.
Okay,
Daniel's got Miami Vice music playing every time he walks somewhere.
Give me your X factors for this game.
Geez, X factor on offense. I'll go Keon Coleman this week. It's my first one, I think, of the year. So I'll go Keon Coleman for offense. Defense, I'm gonna throw one out there. Von Miller, his return. I think he gets it too. Yeah, why not? I'll throw it out there.
Right.
Okay.
Return of Von.
Armis,
yep.
You got.
I'm gonna say Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver's a week healthier. I think he's gonna come back and get pressure up the middle. I think he's gonna make a difference in this game. That offensive line sucks. I think offensively rather. Man, if I'm Kincaid, I'm licking my chops. They have no safeties. Their linebackers can't cover worth a damn. I think Kincaid can blow this one out the water. I really think he can.
You think it's going to be Kincaid? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with AJ Epinesa. He just seems to always play that game against the Dolphins. He always seems to show up against the Dolphins.
That's one of my guys.
Whether it's a bat down interception, whether it's killing Tua, he just always seems to be that guy against the Dolphins. And then offensively, I'm going to say this just because you crapped on him earlier. It's going to be a James Cook game.
Nobody crapped on James Cook.
Mommy craps on him every week.
I don't crap on
him. The number one. It's going to be a James Cook game.
Oh, my God. All right, so once again, Keon Coleman was asked if he's worried about the game against the Dolphins.
Not at all, bro. Not at all.
All right, so he's not worried.
I will tell you the Dolphins DC gave Josh some bulletin board material talking about how he doesn't secure the ball well enough.
Did you hear, by the way, Tyreek Hill's comments about him being a blocker?
Yeah.
No, what did he say?
He's throwing shit. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
He went to Twitter. Someone talked about how Tyreek Hill doesn't catch the ball because he said something. They're like, well, it'd be nice if you actually produced on Sundays. And he's like, well, I'm a blocker now. So
basically he's throwing shade, saying that's all.
He's like, I'm getting 2 targets a game. What do you expect from me?
And then Drew Rosenhaus knows what he's doing.
And then you heard Salty Tua, right?
Miami.
Salty Tua. You heard that one too, Mikey? The Salty Tua thing that's going around?
Yeah.
No.
Where he said
about the guys sitting on the couch eating popcorn.
Yeah, y'all should shut.
Don't know
potato
how to
chips.
Snap.
Yeah, y'all should just shut up. Eat your potato chips. Let me do my job.
Tyrese trying to talk himself back into KC.
Yeah, so they're calling him Salty Tua. Yeah. What a name!
You know what?
I do like it. I'm not gonna lie.
The Bills were the ones that started this whole concussion issue for him. I hope this is his last game now.
All right, I'm gonna make some Salty Tua chips going business.
So here's the question from Amy: Can they beat the Chiefs or the Ravens? Asking for America outside of Kansas City that can't take another ref-given Chiefs Super Bowl.
What's the question? Can what? What was the question?
Can the Bills beat the Chiefs or the Ravens? Because they can't. Because America can't take another Kansas City Chiefs ref-given Super Bowl.
Right now. The Ravens, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. Like right now, I think
if that defense plays that way,
we better. If we're healthy, we got to be 100% healthy on one, and I mean everybody healthy, and we better be a lot more physical than we were against them this year, or we will get fucked up again.
We were also missing a bunch of dudes on defense.
That's what I said. Yeah. That's what I just said, Mikey. If we play him again, and we are 100, if we got our full team out there.
Well, the way you said it made it sound like we would have
to have our full lineup, and we would have to play very physical. That is a physical ass team.
I just think we just have to have our key guys.
We got to have our line. We got to have our defensive lineup in there.
Did you watch them last week? They didn't look good.
Okay, they also played a lot. They played a Browns team who played a lot more physical than we did when we played them. They played a lot more physical, Mikey. That's how you got to beat the Ravens. If you don't play physical, they will fuck you up. That's just what they do. You play physical, you get to Lamar, you stop, and that's what you do.
To be fair though, I think in the second quarter when the Bills, or second quarter or second half, that first drive in the second half, when the Bills tried to make that comeback, they were making the adjustments to make a comeback. I think it really just comes down to they didn't have the horses to do it. Now they do with Cooper being on the field. So I think it's a much different
And we
story.
don't call some stupid ass fucking trick
up
play.
until
that too.
Up until the one trick play
that he ran all year that backfired horribly bad.
Right. The worst time to do it.
Like, honestly, Samuel should have never thrown that ball back to Josh. He just should have kept it and ran.
Yeah.
Right. And Josh should have just got out of bounds or whatever.
Right.
That shit was all
Josh ain't ever gonna
a
give up on
disaster.
play. It's just not,
No, he's not.
It's not
I
in his DNA.
I know. It was just a fucking.
All the
was like,
the receiver was open, though. The receiver was open. If you had a little bit of time, that would have been a big play.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Right.
They blew up the play.
Kick was just a little bit right by Bass. If he just a little bit more to the left.
Simple as that.
Him.
That's right.
Listen, let's not talk about Bass, all right? I have PTSD from that fool.
Right.
Oh, he got a lot of relief with the other kicker getting cut, right?
Well, was he good?
Yeah.
His
27-yard field goal. Like Bean's like, all right, he got the 27. Let's keep him on the team now.
That's all it takes when you got a contract you can't get rid of now.
Right. All right, he's proven he can make 27-30. Let's keep it to that, guys. Nothing beyond 45. All right.
Right.
Dirty. That's all Sean McDermott does is give light boxes. He runs.
Oh man,
that's all light boxes. I'm sorry. Keon dropped a tutty before halftime, and then a trick play from hell. Yeah. You know, but Keon's a young guy. He's gonna make more of those than he
spiraled out of control too. It was it's never easy when you when also too slow start by us too. You can't do that against
Kincaid.
Yeah, you can't do that against good team. Exactly, the Kincaid. Like I thought we were driving fine in that Kincaid. That's what I said. Like, man, we go back to that game. I know we're going down another rabbit hole, but really everyone talking about the Derrick Henry play. To me, it was the Kincaid play. Because we were driving that series. You go down, that started the snowball effect. Because you get the first down there, we're in the Ravens territory. It could be a totally different the way the whole game was going. But
he drops it, we punt, first play, touchdown.
Boom. Game pretty much.
It's like we had never seen someone run in motion before. The whole defense went with the motion guy and left a wide hole for Derrick Henry.
Right.
Like we never seen someone run a motion before. It was the weirdest thing. But we were also missing a defensive lineman and our middle linebacker.
No, I get it. We got to get healthy, man. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully down the stretch we get our guys back.
That'd be nice.
But definitely Chiefs. Yeah, I think we can beat the Chiefs. I don't have.
I do too. I think we've been close. But it is what it is, man. The better a dub is a dub, man. An L is an L.
It's all about coaching in those games.
We need our coaches not to pucker inside because
that's it.
Listen, I've watched McDermott pucker twice this year.
Yeah.
Once before halftime against the Jets, and then once at the end of the game against the Texans.
Yep.
Both times it bit us in the ass. If he does that shit in the playoffs, we're going home.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Yep. All right, so Mikey, are you ready to? You
better wrap it up.
Not ready to wrap it up or what? Right,
so you want to quickly give what's going on for the rest of this week, and then we'll give whatever else is going on.
Is that because they got a busy schedule? I just checked you guys YouTube out like last week when I saw you. I'm like, damn,
4 hours of
these dudes go live. Yeah, and Aramis only been going live 4 hours in total right now. Yeah. Aramis, I got another podcast right after this. You want to join?
Hey, why not?
So, tomorrow, guys, 2:00 is Fantasy Kingdom with Howie and Mikey and Howie. You don't want to miss that. 2:00 Fantasy Football. At 4 p.m. is AFC East Shakedown. You don't want to miss that either. And then obviously I'll be here pregame on Sunday, and then me and Mikey will be doing the post-game show right after the Bills game is finished. Aramis, what do you got going on in your channel, man? When can they catch you guys on next?
Mondays and Fridays, 6 p.m. Our Friday shows, we do a video
Eastern?
review session. Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah, Eastern. Yep. Cool. 6 p.m. Eastern. For our Friday shows, we do a video review of a film review session with Coach D. My pop played for the Bills and Dolphins.
What's your pop's name? Sorry to cut you off.
Damaris Johnson. He wore 17 for the Bills back in those days.
Oh, we're Josh's number. Nice. All right, I'll have to check it out, man.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, so Mondays and Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Me, my co-host Key, and my other co-host Melly Mack, we get it in every time.
So go watch them, and then just once they're done, because they run like 2-3 hours, then you can go over to watch us on Mondays and Fridays.
That's it.
It's real simple. Yeah,
the Post Podium Podcast.
Yeah. We're hoping to collab more with them guys, by the way. Maybe one day we go over there as well and be a guest on, over there on their channel. If you guys don't know, in the description is their channel link. Real simple, man. You click it, subscribe, notification bell, just like you do here. And that's how you get all the good to great Bills content. So, Mikey, anything else?
No, I think I'm ready. I hate wishing for Sunday to get here because I wish my weekend away, but man, I'm so ready to watch the Bills.
You know what, man, too? We didn't get no super chats tonight. Thanks, guys, for
Tommy wants so badly to play.
Thanks a lot.
These things.
I had a super chat thing going on tonight for you guys to do, and you just totally ruined it for me. It was a cool thing.
They don't like your take about.
Yeah, they don't like my takes at all. Thanks a lot. But you know what? I'm going to play them anyways for you. So if you were to give a super chat, you were going to get this. Yeah, that's right. But I'm a nice guy. And then one more before I head out.
Bills are happening now. They're making it happen now.
Mommy's dance.
A lot of spirit, yeah.
Okay, with the choreography and the dog. You can't beat that. You should all be ashamed of yourselves for not getting into the super chat when he comes with the choreography and the dog.
The Bills make me want to shout.
You should have to dance like that with your comments tonight, brother.
Woo! See y'all missed out. See y'all. Hey, but
there you go, Tommy. There you go. Tommy.
There you go. You see? I gave you guys a show, free show. But
come on, you gotta give him the horn. You gotta give him the horn.
You know what? I will. You deserve that horn. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Another one. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Oh man.
Y'all. So hey, we appreciate everybody. Aramis, thank you so much for joining us. I am out of breath because I am out of shape, and I'm out of Till next time, Bills Mafia. We love you.
As the hot pepper challenge.
Oh my God. Go Bills.